Spiral, dial. Sci-fi with a soundscape.
Jessica whispered within. Did you open the cages? There was no response. Pyrope! Nothing. Jessica scanned her body. That tingling sensation she associated with the mineral's presence was missing. Lost. A cold wave of anxiety passed through her. The captain swung her weapon again. Jessica flinched, but it was Archie in the firing line this time. Traitor! They cried. After everything we planned together, everything I've done for you! Archie shrugged. Nothing to do with me, darling. I'm just riding the next wave, and it looks rather like you're heading for a big wipeout. The captain squeezed the trigger. Before the shot reached the end of the barrel, a large giraffe grasped the metal in its mouth and twisted it in half. The bullet discharged into the captain's office, ricocheting off the coils of the ammonite desk and shattering one of the large floor-to-ceiling windows. Instead of rays of light, an icy blast of wind rushed past them, opening the drawers of the captain's cabinet. Papers flew everywhere and were trampled underfoot by an avalanche of animals as they poured out of the stairwell and past the office. Jessica grabbed Morven under his arms and dragged him back into the corner just in time to stop them being trampled to death. The animals did not touch them. They seemed to have a very clear destination in mind. Ostriches were followed by more giraffes, then dogs, then zebras. Then a flurry of rats, hyenas, cattle, sheep, leopards, every kind of creature you could imagine, all of them pouring past the captain's office. The captain themselves had long since disappeared in the melee. Dead? Jessica hoped so, but where were all the animals going? Peering down the corridor, she realized where they must be headed. A flash of dark hair caught her eye. She rushed over towards the grand spiral staircase, but her way was blocked by the rightly packed procession of baying animals. "Archie!" she cried. He lay limp on the back of a pair of antelopes. They must be parading him as some sort of trophy, she thought, taking him to the concert hall to show him off. She couldn't allow it. No matter how treacherous he had been to her in life, she had been trained never, ever to leave a man behind in enemy territory. Crouching, she launched herself upwards, landing precariously on the back of a large lion who let out a blood-curdling roar in response. Narrowly avoiding his snapping jaws, she leapt onto the back of a nearby cow, which provided a much more comfortable ride. Reaching out for the banister, she slid over onto it and descended at a swoop until she was level with the antelopes. The polished wood felt smooth on her skin. She prepared herself for the sight of Archie's bloodied corpse. "Welcome to the party, darling." Jessica's jaw dropped. He lay stretched out horizontally across the back of 4 antelopes. A small green and purple bird was pecking at his head. Jessica shooed it away. "Don't scare away the hairdresser, darling. I need a bit of a trim before the concert starts, not to mention the dandruff. Being underground does nothing for my split ends." The bird returned to its labours. Jessica could see it removing flakes of dry skin from his scalp, together with the remnants of the dust from the bubble. As the dust disappeared, Archie seemed to expand somehow, his skin glowing, his hair glossy black. He looked 20 years younger, renewed, as if the ride of the antelopes had refreshed his very being. She glanced down at her bloody, dusty clothing and shuddered. "I thought you were dead." Jessica reached out to him and was met with an enthusiastic lick from one of the antelopes. She withdrew her hand, wiping it on her formerly white clothing. "I'm very much alive, I can assure you. Dead? Have you never heard of crowd surfing?" He reached out his hand and a red monkey appeared as if by magic, proffering him a freshly rolled joint as another held his lighter ready. Inhaling deeply, he blew several large rings of smoke into Jessica's face. The monkeys chattered excitedly either side of his head, jumping up to catch the rings in their hand. Archie laughed. Before handing the joint over to the monkey on his left, he took a drag before doubling up in a fit of coughing and losing his footing. Archie grabbed the joint from its hand, letting the monkey fall between the legs of the stampeding antelopes. Jessica reached out to break its fall, but it had already grasped the antelope's tail and was making its way back to Archie's side, seemingly completely unfazed by its ordeal. You really are the limit. What the hell is going on? We could have all been killed, along with the captain. Killed? Hold your horses, darling. The animals are just having a little fun. Hijinks, you know, pre-concert nerves. The musical scene settled them down. Music? It's like I told you. It's time for the big show. The first show of the cycle. You absolute bastard. I thought you were in danger. I could have been eaten by a rampaging lion. Oh, don't worry about him or the rest. The music is the most filling meal you'll ever taste. He'll be satisfied, and what's more, you'll have a front row seat. Oh, and darling, what? You might want to watch that banister. Too late. She saw the large pineapple-shaped decoration blocking her path, sliding into it with a genital-crushing crash as Archie's antelopes cantered onwards, carrying him into the concert hall. She gingerly extricated herself. The rush of animals seemed to be petering out, and she was able to walk behind them into the hall. Archie's faint voice filtered back to her. Grab yourself a hammock, darling. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on this one.